Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to 100 Days of Halloween. If you are new here, welcome to my cozy little corner of YouTube. I hope that you and all of the Nomies who have been here before are doing well today. I hope you guys are staying safe and that you and your loved ones are doing the best that you can. Today I'm back with another episode of the hashtag 100 Days of Halloween. If you haven't been here for my other 100 Days of Halloween videos, you can find those on my channel. I've been posting one about every week. And basically what it is it is a kind of little collab that started back in July, believe it or not, because that was when 100 Days from Halloween was back in July. We were hanging out over on Rainy at the Woolly Llama shop. I will link her in the description box. She has a YouTube channel. She was having a little live stream, little birthday celebration. We were hanging out there chatting, and she mentioned wanting to do 100 granny squares and doing like one every day for the 100 days leading up to Halloween. And she was like, if I did that, like, would you guys like be interested in joining me? Like, could we make this a thing? She had this idea to compile like a big master list of, square inspiration, square ideas, patterns, like free patterns that she finds online or YouTube tutorials, things like that, and do draw one every day. And there were a handful of us there that were like, yes, absolutely, this sounds like fun. And thus 100 Days of Halloween was born. So she is hosting this, and she does draw some sort of a square or applique every day from her little jack-o'-lantern. And then on the days that she can't draw because she has to work on the weekends or something, she will like draw 3 on the Friday. Then Missy over at Missy's Yarniverse and More, she was also there during that live stream and decided to jump on, and she is posting a daily video. She is not doing like a drawing for whatever like square design, but what she is doing is drawing a square that she has already made. And then every day, everybody gets to guess like what she's going to put on that square, like as her design. And then she's taking ideas also from people's guesses. So like if she didn't do that guess, but she thought it was fun, she puts it on a list. And then she's actually occasionally drawing from this list to, make the basically fan favorites suggestions. But she's also like freehanding them, finding appliques online. Sometimes she picks some, that she sees from Rainy's channel, whatever. And coming up with hers. And Rainy and Missy are both making blankets with their squares. They have their own like plans for those. And if you want to see more about what they're doing, you'll need to head over to their channels. Like I said, they will be linked in the description box below. And then over at Yarny Cat Crochet, Patricia is doing some like smaller projects. So she did like a little handbag, and then she did like a little scarf. Super, super cute. I think she is currently making something else. She's just doing some like more smaller, quicker working up projects because she's got a lot going on. And 100 Days of Halloween, a square every day, that is a huge undertaking, which I also did not commit to. So basically what her and I did was say, hey, like, we would love to participate in this. This sounds so fun. Count us in. We're going to do it a little bit differently though, because that's like a really big undertaking to commit to. And there was also like a couple days notice. It was like a couple days before it started that we all decided very like impulsively to do this. So basically I was like, I'll do it to some lesser degree. Wasn't sure what the lesser degree would be. It turns out I actually am doing a lot more than I even thought I was going to. And I've been doing a weekly video. Especially early on, I was pretty much doing a square every day anyways, just not showing a video every day. And the reason I did that, I decided to do it that way, was because I have done these types of things in the past quite a few times, and I do some of these types of things yearly. Yearly, I've been doing my 13 days of Yarnoween and my 25 days of Christmas. I've also done, Vlogtember or Vlogust and things like that. I know making a video every day can get to be a lot. I've also just, honestly, most of the time I've had my channel, I've done videos like every day or 5 days a week. It's only a more recent thing that I kind of scaled back a little bit to like give myself like a little bit more grace, to not feel like I constantly am trying to make a video. So I know that making a video every day gets to be a lot, but also the bigger thing is I know that trying to make a thing, like a crocheted item every day and show it every day gets to be a lot, which Rainey actually discovered that pretty quickly. She is still doing her pulling for the squares every day, but she's not like making a square and showing it every day. She's finishing them as she finishes them, giving herself like time to enjoy it. Missy is magically keeping up with making a square every day, but it is hard to make something every single day like that and film it every single day and not have days where you just don't want to or you just don't have time. It is difficult. And then once you have those days where you don't have time or something and you miss that day, you start losing your momentum and it just gets to be a lot. So I wanted to keep it fun. I wanted to keep it a little bit more chill than that. So what I decided to do for mine is I decided to make vests. I just recently came back up to Michigan and I have up here a nephew and 2 nieces, and I wanted to make them little pullover vests with this cool, just really simple little pullover design that I had seen before. It's not a pattern or anything. It was just a picture that I had seen of like maybe a 1 or 2 year old, somewhere in that range, wearing just a little pullover granny vest. And basically the concept is one big granny square for the front, one big granny square for the back, and then you just do some stitches and some shaping to form it into a vest. If you are interested in seeing what that was, you'll have to go back and watch my other videos because I did pop it up, show you guys the picture and everything. That is on my computer at home though, and I do not have it with me, so I'm not going to be showing that this time, but that is where that idea came from. It's something I saw a couple years ago and had saved on my computer as something I knew I wanted to do, and I was like, perfect opportunity. And then I decided that I would make me a vest. So obviously a very plus size sized adult vest is going to take a lot of squares, and I'm actually very close to finishing my vest. So we are just a little over halfway through the 100 days of Halloween, and I have basically finished my vests. I have a little bit to do on one of the kids' vests. I just haven't picked it back up and worked on it. But I could finish, I could knock that out in an afternoon if I just sat down and did it. And then my vest, like I said, I have a few more squares that need to go into it. And then shaping. So I've got it working up into a vest. I can't show it to you because it's pretty much vest shaped now. I did make an alteration. I was originally planning on doing an open vest for mine where it was open in the front. I did decide to switch mine into a pullover for a couple of reasons. One, it'll match the kids a little bit more. Obviously mine's not just one big granny square, but it'll match the kids with the vibe of being a pullover vest. But also I'm not lining my vest because I don't know how to sew to that capacity that I could line the vest. And the inside of a lot of the squares is very ugly, and with it being an open faced vest, I was like, people are gonna see the inside of those squares a lot. It's gonna flop open, it's gonna billow in the wind and all this kind of stuff. I didn't want the focus to be on the inside of the squares, so I just decided to make it a pullover vest. It'll match the kids a little bit more, and I won't have to worry about people seeing the inside of the squares. If I was a seamstress, I would line it, but I'm not, and I don't know anyone who is, so that's my little solution. Come to me for more tips and tricks now. I if I can make it a little bit easier and solve the problem without it being a big ordeal, that's perfect for me. Alright guys, so now that I have filled you in on what this all is and what my updates are and things like that, I do have some squares to show you. These are going to be the final squares that are going into my vest. So you have seen all of the squares that have gone into my vest so far. I've been doing weekly updates showing them to you. Showing you a few less this week. I'm showing you 4. I actually do have some more squares made, but they're not completely done. I'm staging them. And I'm also trying to figure out what I want to do with those squares because I still have more days of 100 Days of Halloween, and I'm prematurely finishing my projects. So, Well, my vest, like I said, it does have a lot of shaping to do on it, but that has nothing to do with the 100 Days of Halloween squares. That is going to do with when I reveal it to you guys during the 13 Days of Yarnoween. But to show you the final 4 squares, I'm going to save this one for last, actually. I am going to be doing, or I did this, I did this, skeleton, a skull. Oh my goodness. I lost my mind for a moment because I realized I think I've actually shown this one to you already. And now that I'm holding it up, I know I have because I remembered making sure you couldn't see through the face. So you've already seen this one, but it is one of the final 4 going in, and I have it sitting here. So you're seeing it again. I'm trying to remember if the other 4 are the other ones that I've put into the vest since seeing you last, if I showed them all to you. Hopefully I did, because they're already in the vest and I can't show them to you now. If you want to know the pattern for this one, go to my last video for the 100 Days of Halloween, and this pattern is in the description box, and also I talked about it. The rest of these are all free-handed, so that's part of how I also remembered that that one was already shown. Oopsie. Alright, so this one, I gotta remember which way we decided. I think this way is the way I decided I wanted it to face. Well, me and my sister, I was like, I need your help deciding which way this one should face. So this one is a candy corn, but I did it like kind of 3D amigurumi style. So this is like an amigurumi candy corn sewn onto here. And I used some scraps of yarn for this. And this blue, when it ran out, I just used the last of it because it had like a little bit more. I made a little surface crochet line. I don't know why, I just felt like it. But I had the yarns kind of ending and everything because they were running out, and then I did this variegated yarn, and then the white and the gray, I tried to kind of plan these scraps to end, you know, like where they both had 2 sides, but it did run out a little prematurely, so then I did like this corner in black. But I actually like it. I think it looks pretty cool. So we've got this candy corn and this skull. These are going to be 2 of the last ones put in. These are going to be for the shoulders. And then I have another candy corn, which is also free-handed. This was like Red Heart Retro Stripes scraps, and I made the square with the idea in mind that it was going to run out soon, so I wasn't sure when it would run out. So that's why it's not all double crochet. I was doing double crochets, and then I did a few rows of single because I didn't want it to run out like mid-row. And then I bordered it with double crochet in this really cute variegated yarn. I really, really like that variegated yarn. And then, are you guys ready to see the last one? Because I'm really proud of this one. I spent like an embarrassingly large amount of time today working on this. I'm not gonna lie. I made a vampire. So I made a vampire square, and I made this by making a circle. This was kind of like making a moon, where like you would make like the crescent moon, but then normally you would make like this part of it black or whatever, so that only the crescent moon would show. But instead I made the whole thing white, and it kind of gave it this shape that is like a face. And then the rest of it is, I crocheted the little bow tie shapes, and I crocheted a little piece for the head right here that I sewed on, and then the rest of it, like the sideburn area and everything, is all embroidered on, and all of the face details are embroidered on. So that is my little vampire. It's on a Hirschner's black metallic strand yarn. It's from one of the Hirschner's cakes, or one of the Hirschner's skeins of Halloween yarn that changes color. I had went through and like put together a bunch of my black scraps and made these squares. I made another square too, but I haven't done anything with it yet. And then this is Big Twist black sparkle yarn, so you'll notice it's got like a shimmery black to it. And I used that also for the eyes and inside the mouth. This red is some Hobie Universe XL Halloween yarn, just like little scraps of it that were like a red and a pink. And I used them to be like mostly for the red, but they had like a pinkish hue to them too. And then the white is Big Twist Sparkle. And then this was that same yarn. Oh, I can't tell you about that. This was a other yarn that I'm not going to tell you about because I almost just gave away a project for the 13 Days of Yarnoween. Whoops. Well, now you guys got a little hint. There's purple in there too, like purple and blue and pink. It has more colors than it was picking up on, so I'm like really getting in here. I want to suck your blood. Anyways, guys, this one's like my favorite of these ones. And then I think this one is Shy's favorite of these ones. I don't know. She really likes both of these. But yeah, that is my update on my vest and on my squares and on my 100 days of Halloween. I'm going to keep doing the 100 days of Halloween, and let me know if you guys have any suggestions on what you guys think I need to make next with my squares. Of course, there's a million things I could make with squares, so like the options are kind of endless, but let me know what you think I should make with upcoming squares. If you're interested in joining in on this, by the way, you can head over to Rainy's channel. She's the one kind of hosting it. There isn't, the light flickered and completely just made my brain like short circuit and I don't remember what I was saying. I don't remember. But anyway, if you want to join in, you can go over to Rainy's channel and hear all about how to join in. But you guys are totally welcome to join in with making granny squares. It is literally that lax. Like, you want to make some Halloween granny squares or fall themed granny squares and join in on it, that's all you got to do. That's literally like the only qualifying thing to be like joined in on it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know what your favorite square was, and if you guys are excited for the 13 days of Yarnoween. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will have my 13 days of Yarnoween video, info video. Do I have an info video for that? I don't know if I have an info video for that. I think I just talk about it a lot. I am having a spirit week during it that's called #BooTube Spirit Week. Really proud of that. That one has an info video. 13 Days of Yarnoween, actually don't think it does. So like really quickly, I'll just tell you the 13 Days of Yarnoween is the 13 days leading up to and including Halloween. And I chose 13 because it's supposed to be like unlucky number 13. That's why I chose 13. And basically what it is every day I come on and I have like a Halloween themed video. I go really all out for these. I really think they're fun. In those videos, you will find like cool backgrounds, me doing makeup looks or costumes, things like that, crocheting, themed projects that have to do with Halloween. A lot of times they'll even be themed to go with that day. So like say that day I do Frankenstein makeup, I might crochet a Frankenstein's monster or whatever. It just like completely depends. And no, that is not one of them. I purposely chose something I'm not doing so that I didn't give anything away. But yeah, that's the kind of content that you can expect for that. And I just like to pull out like all the stops and kind of go like super extra with it. I love an excuse to be extra and be really festive. So that is what that is. And I would absolutely love it if you show up for those, if you come and hang out for those. Definitely set like a notification on my channel so you don't miss them, because I'm going to be putting a lot of work into them. My sister is going to be part of them this year, and that is going to be super exciting. Her and I have been plotting, so it's going to be really, really fun. But that is what the 13 Days of Yarnoween are. And I have done that the last few years, and I do have a playlist for my 13 Days of Yarnoween videos. So if you want to check them out, see what the other years were like, you definitely can if you want to get into the spooky vibes. Then you'll also see what the upgrade in production value is for this year, because I think this one is going to be the best by a ton. Anyways, guys, I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope that you stay safe and that you get some good crocheting time in today, or knitting, or diamond painting, or drawing, or coloring, or whatever it is that you get up to. Something that is just going to be for you, just for fun, just because you enjoy it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys!